A 12-year-old's heartbreaking journey with his mother, a true English story. He was just 12 years old, poor, alone, and desperate to save his dying mother. What he did next will break your heart and inspire your soul. Welcome to English Stories with Sherry, where every story helps you speak better English. Learn grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary the fun way through powerful stories you'll never forget. In a small, quiet village nestled between the hills, lived a boy named Arjun. He was only 12 years old, yet life had already tested him in ways that many adults could never imagine. His world was simple, modest clothes, a small school, and a tiny 2-room house that he shared with his mother, Mira. Mira was everything to Arjun. His father had left when he was just a baby, and from that moment on, his mother had played both roles, nurturing him with warmth, guiding him with strength, and loving him with a heart bigger than the sky. Arjun never once heard her complain, even when she returned home exhausted after long hours of cleaning homes in the nearby town. Her hands were rough, her feet were tired, but her smile never faded when she saw her son. Arjun knew they were poor. He saw how his mother stretched every coin, how she skipped meals just to make sure he had enough food, how she wore the same faded sari for years while still managing to wash and iron his school uniform every single day. She told him often, "Education is your way out, Arjun. Study hard, dream big, and never forget where you came from." And Arjun did. He studied late into the night by the dim glow of a kerosene lamp. He walked miles to attend school, never missing a single class. His teachers admired his dedication, and his classmates respected his quiet strength. But behind that strength was a boy who carried the heavy burden of worry. One cold evening, everything changed. Arjun came home from school and noticed the silence. The kind of silence that feels heavy, that presses against your chest. He called out for his mother, but there was no answer. He found her lying on the floor, unconscious. Panic filled his small body as he shook her, cried her name, and ran to the neighbors for help. Mira was rushed to the hospital, and after hours of waiting, the doctor came out with tired eyes and a grave voice. Mira had a serious illness. It had been growing silently inside her for years, slow, unnoticed, dangerous. She had ignored the signs, hiding her pain behind smiles and warm words, all to keep Arjun from worrying. She needed treatment, expensive treatment, and time was slipping away. Arjun sat beside her hospital bed, holding her hand, trying not to cry. She opened her eyes and looked at him with love and regret. "I'm sorry, Beta," she whispered. "I wanted to be strong for you." He didn't know how to respond. He was just a child, but in that moment, something inside him grew stronger, older. He wiped his tears and told her, "Don't worry, Ma. I will take care of everything." From that day on, Arjun's life changed. Every morning, he woke before the sun, cooked simple meals, and went to school. After school, he worked at a tea stall, washing cups and sweeping floors. He used the money he earned to buy medicine, food, and sometimes, just a little extra rice so his mother could eat something warm. His teachers noticed his tired eyes and worn-out shoes. When they learned the truth, some offered help. They gave him books, meals, and emotional support. The village, moved by his determination, began to contribute what they could. A few coins here, a warm shawl there, a ride to the hospital when he needed it most. Arjun never begged. He never asked for pity. He simply smiled and said thank you, then kept going. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. His mother's health began to stabilize, and her smile slowly returned. It was a fragile smile, but it was real. She watched her son grow into a young man before her eyes, not because of age, but because of responsibility, love, and sacrifice. One day, as the doctor examined her, he turned to Arjun and said, "Your mother is recovering well. She's lucky to have a son like you." Arjun didn't reply. He just held her hand tighter, silently thanking every moment that brought her back to him. Years later, Arjun would graduate with honors, earning a scholarship to a prestigious university. He would go on to become a teacher, guiding children like him, teaching them that no matter how hard life gets, love, determination, and kindness can light even the darkest path. But no matter where life took him, Arjun never forgot the days he spent washing cups at the tea stall, the nights he sat beside his mother praying for another day, and the words she once whispered to him with tear-filled eyes, words that shaped his entire life. I may not have given you riches, Arjun, but I gave you all my love. And that is more than enough. This story is not just about a poor boy or a sick mother. It's about strength, sacrifice, and the invisible bond that ties a mother and child forever. A bond so deep, so powerful, that even the harshest storms cannot break it. Thanks for listening to English Stories with Sherry. If you learned something new today, like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful stories that make learning English easy. See you in the next one.